Hello, welcome back to the Brittney Reacts Show, where on this show I go over all things entertainment news. I go over movie news. I've been updating you guys about the Hollywood strikes, and we have a lot to talk about when it comes to the strikes, particularly the studios be wildin' basically. We have some really interesting news with Rachel Zeigler, who plays Snow White in Disney's live action movie. She was on video at the picket line saying like, "Oh, Disney better pay me." And it's very interesting because I don't even think they're fully done like filming that movie yet. So we're gonna talk about that. We have some other like fun, interesting entertainment news to discuss. So before we get into all of that, I do want to say hello. How is everyone doing? Um, Thank you everyone for coming. I do see we had one person who became a member. I want to say hi to Jojo Rod. Thank you for becoming a member. As always, you can become a member by either pressing the join button at the bottom of the screen, or you can actually press, I put a link in the description, so you can just click that link if you're on iOS, and then you can also become a member that way. But how is everyone doing? Um, Hi Fawn, hi Glitchmation, hi Maiden, hi CD Woods, hi Motion Going, hi Yellow Umbrella, hi Jessica, hi Eat Movies, hi Anti Angel, hi Godzu, Horo, hi Koharu, hi Jimin, hi everyone who's here. Let's just get straight into the news right off the top. And the first thing that I do want to talk about is, of course, Barbie. Barbie's still doing incredibly, incredibly well. It's going to pass $1 billion by the end of this weekend. Can you guys believe it? Barbie is going to pass $1 billion. I don't think most people saw this coming. I mean, I thought the movie could do well just because, again, I thought the trailer looked really good, but to see it doing this well so quickly, it's kind of insane. I mean, I'm really happy for them. Greta Gerwig has become the highest, Barbie has become the highest grossing movie to be solely directed by a woman. So that's a huge, huge feather in Greta Gerwig's cap. So good for her. Honestly, I'm happy for everyone involved. Very proud for Barbie. And it looks like David Zaslav, who's the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, finally decided to do something smart. It's like one of the only things he's said smart recently. We're gonna get into some really dumb things that he said recently. But David Zaslav did say that he's not going to put Barbie on streaming anytime soon. He says that he really believes in the motion picture window, which means just keeping the movie in theaters. And he's gonna just let it play there, let the brand build up, and then at the very end, after it's been in theaters for multiple months, then they're gonna put it on streaming sometime in the fall. So thankfully, it looks like the studios are finally wisening up, and they're not just putting everything straight to streaming, which just cuts off the legs of their movies in theaters and makes them not perform as well. Because, like, why would you go see a movie in theaters if you know it's just going to come out on streaming in just a couple of weeks? So I'm happy that they're finally being like, you know what, maybe we should keep our hit movies in theaters just a little bit longer. So finally, David Zaslav said something smart. Who would have thought? Again, he's gonna put his foot in his mouth later on, but we're about to. At least you gotta give him this. Um, Barbie did change the game, Yellow Umbrella. That's very true. I know Luciana also can't believe he said something smart. I'm glad I'm not alone. Um, oh, I know that these are MCU numbers, Eat Movies. I know. Barbie is performing like a Marvel movie, which is kind of incredible. But yay for Barbie. I'm glad that it's doing well. We are going to move on, though, because we have a lot to talk about with the strike stuff. So I just want to get to the entertainment news next. And just going off the Barbie train here, Ryan Gosling's song I'm Just Ken debuted on the Hot 100 at number 78. So it's actually charting. Good for him. Now he has a top 100 pop hit. I actually really like that song. I think it's really cute. I think Ryan Gosling has a really good voice, even better than I expected. So good for him. They got a hit. Maybe it'll get an Oscar nomination for Best Original Song. I could definitely see that happening for this. Although it's gonna have to compete with Peaches though. and it's going to have to compete with the Billie Eilish song from the same movie. So I think the Best Original Song category for Oscars could be very competitive this year. Josh Loves Movies says Barbie is going to do way better on Max after theaters than The Flash. Barbie is already doing better than The Flash. Barbie is just like trouncing The Flash. Like, The Flash had no. It was done. It was done. It's gone and dead. Natanya Mulling says, Yay, go Ken. Maiden says Ken's song was the best part of the film. It really was. His voice is brilliant, and the dance sequences. I know. I'm with you. He deserves more than 78, says Spill the Mad Tea. Yeah, I'm sure it'll grow. Maybe it'll be a grower. Who would you guys want to see win the Best Original Song, though? Would you want to see I'm Just Ken, Peaches, or Billie Eilish's song? Because I think so far all three of those are a lock for a nomination. I think that's pretty hard. Do you guys... Yeah, Peaches can be nominated, Nicholas. I know, right? The Flash who? Marissa says, I want Ken to have his own movie. Maybe they will announce one after the Oscars. I would not be opposed to that. Stephanie Williams says, Billy's song made me cry at the end. I know. It was a really good song. Prince says, unpopular opinion, Flash is good apart from the Ezra Miller stuff. Okay, I still have to see The Flash. Once it's on Max, I'll give you guys my review. Oh, you guys want Peaches. Oh, okay, so I'm getting a lot of Billy. Should I do a poll? Do you guys want a poll? You know what? Why not? Let's do it. I'm going to do a poll for who you guys want to win Best Original Song, including I Am Ken. All right. Starting a poll. Who wins Best Original Song? That's the question. So you got Peaches, Billy's song. I'm just going to put Billy. And then I'm going to add I'm Just Ken. All right. Poll is up. I want to see what you guys are thinking. Oh, Kisaki says, I didn't like Billy's song that much. That's fair. Soggy Concha says, Peaches hits different. Honestly, I know this might be like crazy to some of y'all, but I think I'm Team Peaches. I really like the Peaches song. Yeah, you guys are pretty split as well. It's looking like almost evenly. 28% Peaches, 32% Billy, and then 40% I'm Just Ken. So I'm Just Ken is winning, but not by a huge majority. You guys are pretty split about this. I get it though. Yellow Umbrella says Ben Shapiro gonna smash his laptop if Just Ken gets nominated. I know, it's gonna be really funny though. All right, I'm about to end the poll, so get your votes in now. Will French says, unpopular opinion, I didn't like the song Peaches. Oh no, I loved it. All right, about to close it off. So we ended the poll with I'm Just Ken in the lead with 38%, Peaches at 35%, and Billy's with 26%. I fully expected Billy to win, but I'm Just Ken won. So you guys really like that one the best. So, all right, let's hope that Ryan Gosling gets that Oscar. All right, moving on. We have a lot to go over, so don't want to keep it going too slow. Oh, Christopher Nolan. I know, okay, you guys may be aware that a common critique Christopher Nolan gets about his movies is that no one can hear them. No one can understand the dialogue. You need to have subtitles on to be able to understand his movies. And Christopher Nolan is apparently very hyper aware that people have this critique about his films. But he says he prefers it this way. He says that he doesn't like using ADR, which is like when an actor goes into a booth after the fact to record lines to play after the fact. But he doesn't like doing that. He says he likes to use the performance that was given at the moment rather than the actor revoice it later. So he just wants a more authentic performance. He just wants to capture what the actor was thinking at the time, not re-recording the lines later. Which, creatively, I understand that, and I do get that. But, at the same time, you have to make people understand what your actors are saying or you're gonna make them lose interest. I don't understand this whole, like, movement amongst a lot of filmmakers, to be honest, not just Christopher Nolan, where it's like, they don't care that their movies are playing for an audience. It's just all about what they want. And I think that movies are a conversation with the audience, or at least it should be. I'm feeling like more and more filmmakers and directors are just like being all about like what I want and only what I want. I don't care how the audience feels. I don't care if the audience can actually understand anything or can see anything, with the case in Game of Thrones where they intentionally underlit everything, and it's like I would like to see, please. But yeah, this is just like a personal gripe of mine. I just had to point this out because I'm like, on a creative note, I understand where Christopher Nolan is coming from. I do. But it's kind of annoying. How do you guys feel about it? Koharu says it's really annoying. I agree. I agree. Eat Movie says that Nolan should let the actors wear mic packs. I'm sure they do or something. He's intentionally mixing it so it's hard to hear. He likes that, and I don't get it. Um, Helixir says they need better tech if they want that sort of thing. Better audio recording machines. Maybe we need like better mics or something. I don't know. I don't think it's the technology. I think it's just Nolan. Eat Movies says Nolan is a good director, but he's very selfish with his craft. I think that is a very good point. I think you're absolutely right about that, actually. I think that's a good description of him. Luciana Ruiz says, remember Les Mis? Quality of voices when singing were awful just because the director wanted them to sing live while making the scenes. Dumb. You know what? I really like the Les Mis movie, but I get what you're saying. A lot of people critiqued that at the time too. But yeah, it's just you have to make movies for everyone, not just yourself. I'm a firm believer in that, but he's allowed to do what he wants. He's a very successful, talented director. What do I know? But that's just my opinion on it. Moving on. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, that's coming out. I'm actually seeing it right after this live stream so that I can talk about it and give you my non-spoiler thoughts and review on the live stream tomorrow. So make sure you're here on the live stream tomorrow to see my review of the movie. So I'm actually very, very happy for this. It's looking like it's getting rave reviews. It has an A cinema score. It's already open to 10.2 million in the first day. So that's also pretty incredible. That means it could do really well, and I hope it does. And the budget is also responsible. They don't have some crazy insane budget. It's only $70 million. So it's very possible that this movie could actually turn a profit, which means this movie could be a hit. I think you guys were right. We were talking about how well this movie could do or not do. And it sounds like it might be a mid hit, as we predicted. So I'm really happy for it. Again, I haven't even seen it yet. I'm seeing it right after this live stream, but so far it's looking good. I hope I like it too, Brookie. Um, Editing Geek says I thought it was coming out next week. And there we go with the marketing problem again. Like, y'all haven't heard of anything. Not being mean to you, I'm being mean to the marketing departments, because that's their job. Oh, you can't wait to see my review. Yes, I can't wait to talk about it with you guys. Elixir says the art looks interesting. Can't wait to hear the reviews. Yeah, I think the art looks the most interesting part of this movie. I'm thinking the story might be good too, just based on the reviews, but I'm still looking forward to it. Very excited. Yeah, it's a mid hit, Donatez. It's a mid hit. Yeah, I know, Marissa. Kids finally have something to see since Mario. There aren't really a lot of like just kid focused movies. I feel like Hollywood should fix that. But moving on. Some really embarrassing news, guys. The Meg 2 debuts with a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. 0%. Y'all, do you know how bad your movie has to be to debut at 0%? I mean, I saw the first Meg movie. It was alright. It was a Jason Statham movie where he just goes and punches sharks. Like, it was okay. But the fact that the second one is apparently just so awful. It's gonna debut at 0%? Are you kidding me? This is hilarious. I mean, is anyone still excited to see this after the reviews are this terrible? I don't know. Like, again, there are some really awful movies. Like, truly awful, terrible movies. Like, freaking Jurassic World Dominion. Somehow that movie doesn't have 0%, even though that totally deserves it. So do you know how awful this has to be to get 0%? This movie has to be worse than Jurassic World Dominion. That's awful. That's so bad. So, I am laughing at this movie. I'm sorry. How bad do you have to be? You have to be worse than Jurassic World Dominion. The movie that was supposed to be about dinosaurs, but it was about locusts and clones. All right, that's a whole tangent. I could go on a whole different tangent with that movie, but anyways, yeah, 0%. Not good. All right, I'm glad you guys are also enjoying this. I almost want to see it just to see how bad this is. Like, is it really worth this score? I kind of want to see it just to, like, would you guys want me to see it just to roast it? I kind of maybe want to see it now just to roast it. Would you guys want that? Fod Fareed says maybe people will see it for the memes. I also loved Dominion. Oh, I'm glad you liked Dominion. I hated it. I hated it. Although, again, side note, maybe I didn't enjoy Jurassic World Dominion because I saw an ad right before the movie where it was from the World Forum, like the World Union had an ad play before my movie where it was like a dinosaur went up to the podium to talk to the World Union or whatever, and it was like, you guys don't want to go extinct, do you? And it was like all about humans might go extinct because of climate change. And it was a very bumming and depressing commercial to watch before your Jurassic Park movie. So I was kind of in like a weird mood during the entire time. I know this is a tangent. I'm sorry, but I just had to tell you that. Okay, you guys do want me to roast it for the memes? I'll roast it for the memes. I know it could be a Brittney Rants channel, maybe. I love people reviewing terrible movies. Okay, I'll do it. I'll roast it. You guys want me to do it? Okay. Yes. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so again, we're talking about how also badly Warner Brothers Discovery is doing. David Zaslav said one thing smart, but he also said a ton of other things that were really dumb. One of the things that is going wrong with Warner Brothers is that their streaming service is still losing money. Again, all these streaming services across the studio are losing money, hand over fist. So it's not looking good for the industry at large if this was supposed to help them replace the money they lose from cord cutting. But that's not seeming to happen. And Warner Brothers also was the one that wanted to change HBO to Max. So that's the reason why they lost all these subscribers, is because they made everyone switch apps. For what reason exactly? Why did they get rid of the HBO brand? Like, how does that make any sense? But whatever. They're being real stupid. And I'm kind of happy that they're losing subscribers because I think these knuckle brains at the executives who are in charge have no idea what they're doing. And I think this just shows it. I mean, they're losing money and subscribers. Yellow Umbrella says the only streaming service I care about are Netflix and Disney Plus. Yeah, I mean, that was how I was for a long time, but now I don't even really care about those. Maybe just Netflix. Josh Loves Movies says, because Max keeps removing so many shows and movies. I know. I mean, why would you stay subscribed to a streaming service that keeps taking things off the platform and now you're paying more because they keep raising their prices, but they're offering less? They're offering less. So what does that... Why would you stay subscribed if they're going to raise the price but take stuff off the platform? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Soggy Concha says there actually is no reason to have Max. Its content isn't special. I feel like HBO Max had some sort of branding beforehand, but all of that is gone with the just Max rebrand. Like, what is Max? It has no vibe. It has no brand. It's just generic. It's very, very weird. Moving on, we have Johnathan Majors, who is about to go on trial. He was supposed to go today, but he had it moved to September 6th. He's on trial for a lot of really awful charges. He could potentially go to jail for a year. So these are very serious allegations against him. If he does go to jail, obviously that means Marvel is going to have to recast. And that's going to be a whole thing because Kang was supposed to be their next big bad villain. So the fact that that's not working out for him, it's looking really bad for him in court, just considering the amount of evidence that seems to be stacking up against him. It's looking more and more likely like Marvel's going to have to recast this role, to be honest. Fouad Farid. Jonathan Majors is the actor who plays Kang in the Marvel Universe. He's in a series of allegations against domestic violence and a whole bunch of other things. It's not looking good for him. Josh Loves Movies says this is going to decide the fate of Loki season 2. It could. I think it very, very much will. I think if he's found guilty and he has to go to jail, they're going to have to recast because they're not going to be able to film anything without him. So I think, yeah, if this court date has to go well for him. He can't lose this or he loses everything. Kang was so bad. Honestly, I kind of agree with you, Super Crit. I kind of agree with you. Because you know why? I thought when I saw Guardians 3, the High Evolutionary was a much better and much better written villain than Kang ever was. So, to be honest, I think they could just get rid of Kang. I think they should just get rid of Kang, get rid of the Kang dynasty, and just go straight to Secret Wars. That's what I would do. Yeah, Hollet Owl also just says, just recast. We'll see. We'll see how the court date goes, but yeah, it's looking like that's going to be the case. Fodfree says, Kang isn't a good villain anyway. He got defeated by ants, bro. I know. Like, why did they introduce their big bad by having him get defeated by ants? Like, you're obviously... How am I supposed to fear him if he can just get defeated so easily like that, you know? Alright, moving on. We're gonna finally get... Oh, wait, no. We have a quick bit of AI news to go over. Just some, like, really weird, like, WTF news with AI. And it's that apparently Disney has already decided to start scanning background actors' faces and bodies to get their digital replicas. So yeah, we're already living in the future. This was already a thing that they were doing during WandaVision. So that was years ago, before all this stuff with AI took off. So that just shows you, Disney has been thinking about AI for a long time. And the actors, they were not given permission, they were not asked permission, they were not paid, and they didn't even know that their replicas were being used or taken. So this is exactly the kind of stuff that people are striking over. I mean, the fact that they can even do that and get away with that, it just seems kind of criminal to me. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think this is twisted as I do? Because, I think AI is coming. I think there's very little we can do to stop it. It's going to be used, but the person should get their permission for their likeness to be taken and used. The fact that they were just, their whole face and body was scanned and they didn't even know is so creepy. Very creepy. And it just shows you the kind of stuff that the studios want to do with actors. It does seem very criminal. And the thing is, here is someone who described the process. They said, have your hands out, have your hands in, look this way, look that way. Let us see your scared face. Let us see your surprised face. What if I don't want to be on Mario Vision or Sarah Vision, talking about like an original AI program? I fear that AI is eventually going to weed out background actors. They won't have any use for us anymore. And it sounds like that's kind of what the studios are aiming for. They want to just take a whole bunch of people, say like a couple hundred, maybe even 1,000, although I don't even think they'll need that much, just to get their faces and their bodies, and then they can have that in their arsenal forever. So they'll never need a background actor again. That's the kind of like future that they're wanting, and I think that's kind of crazy. It does sound like a Black Mirror episode because it is a Black Mirror episode. It's called Joan is Awful. We have a super chat from Soul Pop. Thank you so much for the super chat. AI can make images of non-existent people. Why scan? I think maybe because it makes them more realistic. I'm not sure exactly. At some point, we probably will get to a point where you could just make an actor without even needing a scan, but I think we're probably further away from that. I think for now, they still need to scan people, but that's a good question. Thank you, Soulpop, for the super chat. Birdie Eraser says, Savage Brittney could totally take on a Marvel villain. Oh, thank you. I think that's a compliment. Um, but Simu Liu, he was also on the picket line. He was talking about how he used to be a background actor. Of course, this actor, he was in Barbie, but he also played Shang-Chi. He says that he basically he doesn't want the whole profession of being a background actor to be replaced by AI because at one point that was his livelihood, and this is a lot of people's livelihood. So AI could really threaten a lot of that. Um, Joe Pedro says, I think this should just be prohibited. Maybe it should. I don't know. Steph says, blame Marvel. Oh no. Um, we also have another actor, Donald Faison, who this is starting to get into the real like existential crisis area because he's afraid that even once he's gone, that his image will still be used even long after he's passed. And it's very likely that it could be. I mean, that this is the kind of thing that all actors are thinking about right now. It's kind of creepy. Very, very creepy. The idea that you could basically be like digitally immortal in a way is very, very creepy. We're living in the future, guys. We're living in the future. Um, Editing Geek says Shang-Chi was one of the last Marvel movies I enjoyed. I thought it was good. I thought it was really okay. Claire Deleu says, then wouldn't there be more room for lead actors? I think there would be less room for actors in general. I think we'll get to a future where the only people who can really make a living as an actor is the 1%. I think that's a very real possibility. All right, so now we're about to move on to the strike news, which is the final segment of the day. We have a lot to go over with the strike stuff. We're gonna talk about the Rachel Zeigler stuff. We're gonna talk about the Fran Drescher stuff. There's a lot to go over, so buckle up. We got some really interesting stories here. So the first thing is that basically, as I said in the beginning of the video, Warner Brothers be wildin'. The studios be wildin'. Because what on earth are they doing? Basically, recently, in an earnings call, Warner Brothers Discovery bragged. They bragged that the writers and SAG strike was saving them money, apparently $100 million. So while everyone's fighting for their livelihoods, fighting for their lives, not being able to work, willing to not work just to, ensure that they have a future, you have these executives that are like, oh, but we're saving so much money. It's like, okay, how kind of tone deaf are you? Again, it just almost seems like the cruelty that's the point, Like, how cruel can you be to the people who make the product that you sell? You would be nothing without them. Does anyone else feel like this is as outrageous and crazy as I do? It is Wilden. Thank you, Angel. I agree. This will affect voice actors. It's going to affect everyone. Josh Loves Movies says they shouldn't be bragging when they lost $300 million on The Flash. That's a great point. Thank you, Josh. They're losing all these monies. All these monies. They're losing all this money and all these franchises and all these films that no one wanted. Clearly, they have the money to go around if they're willing and able to just lose tons and hundreds of millions of dollars. So the fact that they just don't really want to share the wealth with the creatives is so greedy. And then they want to brag that they're saving money. It's awful. Steph says, bro, the strike probably isn't going to end anytime soon. Oh, we're getting to that. You're very right, though. Colby B says, I'm not surprised it's who they've always been. Yeah, but they've really been showing their face, in the public. They've been saying the evil part out loud, which is what I don't understand. Sagi Concha says, I will never imagine a big company saying things like this yet. Here we are. I know. It's like they don't care about optics anymore. They're just showing their true colors and they don't care. And honestly, them being so cavalier about this kind of stuff is what scares me more than anything. Truly. More than the AI stuff. Humans scare me more than the AI stuff right now, to be honest with you. And to be fair, again, it is not the actors who are dragging this strike out. It is the studios. The actors have said that they are willing to meet with the studios to renegotiate, but the studios refuse to even meet with them. So it's the studios dragging this out. Probably because they're saving money, but probably also just to be like an FU to the actors, basically. I don't even know what they're doing. Honestly, none of this makes sense to me. Like, why would they purposely end up delaying their whole slate and like hurting themselves over this? It's nonsense. It's nonsense. I know, all the monies. But thankfully we've had a lot of really big celebrity A-list actors who were willing to donate to the SAG relief fund so that all the people who aren't able to work during the strike but aren't, super famous and rich can still like live through the strike. So we had a lot of famous people who donated to the fund, and I think that was really nice of them. Oprah, Meryl Streep, Nicole Kidman, Leonardo DiCaprio, Luciana, Matt Damon. They also included their partners. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, Hugh Jackman and Deborah Lee Furness. So thank you to all those actors. That was really awesome of them to basically keep this fund alive so that they can prolong the strike as much as they need to. Also, I think it's really funny, just by the way, that Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, so both Wolverine and Deadpool, are making sure that this strike lasts as long as it needs to, despite the fact that Deadpool 3 is delayed because of the strikes, which I think is interesting. They're putting the industry ahead of their own movie, so that's extra impressive. Gianna Grace Garvey says, I don't believe in donating to things I'm not giving personally. I don't think it goes to who it should. Oh, you don't think the money is going to who it should? Oh, I hope not. That would be really tragic to hear. Tom Cruise, as far as we know, did not donate. His name was not on the list. Jennifer Lopez, I know, she also did it. Ethereal Dragon says, why don't the rich actors make movie studios themselves? They might. Maybe that could be a potential. I could see that happening. And we have a super chat from Marissa. Thank you so much for the super chat, Marissa. Read an article speculating that the studios want these strikes to continue so that they can get rid of a bunch of projects they greenlit when they were trying to beef up their streaming services. Oh, that's fascinating. Thank you, Marissa. Thank you again for the super chat. You might be right. You might be right about that. That's fascinating. So what Marissa is saying here is that the reason why the studios want to drag out the SAG strike is so that they can get rid of a bunch of stuff that they already greenlit pre-strike. And I think that's very, very likely because they greenlit a bunch of stuff just because for a while Hollywood was in this era where they just wanted to greenlight everything to pump up their streaming services. But now they're realizing that was stupid. So this could be a whole ruse just to get rid of a bunch of stuff that they greenlit. It's very shady, but it sounds like them. It sounds like something that they would do. Very good point, Marissa. Thank you. Moving on, we have a lot of A-list actors who's been going on the strikes, on the picket fences. They've been going on the picket fences. Words. They've been going in the picket lines. They've been striking. They've been, showing their support. We had Adam Sandler and Ben Stiller. They were the latest A-list stars who were seen there. I think that's really cool of them. We've seen Jack Black there. We've seen Colin Farrell there. We've seen some pretty big names out on the picket line, so that's pretty cool. Again, according to the strike captain, who has the most magician sounding name I've ever heard, Dimitri Bellardinelli. Again, he needs to be a magician if he's not with a name like that. Just saying. He says that he said that all of these A-list stars supporting them is exactly what they need. They need this type of solidarity so that this gives them longevity with the strike. So basically, he's just saying that the fact that all of these stars here are willing to donate to this fund is what's going to allow them to carry the strike out longer so that people can be covered and paid. So that's very, very nice. Very important. What are you guys thinking about this? Do you guys like that all these celebrities, A-list celebrities, are supporting them? Or are you like, oh, aren't they paid enough? Be honest, I want to know. Joshua Munn says, do you guys think the WGA strike will end and they'll come to a deal tomorrow? No, I don't. Apparently, the WGA doesn't expect it to end anytime soon, so don't get your hopes up. Yeah, we've talked about this in the live streams, Joshua. Apparently, the Writers Guild is meeting with the studios tomorrow to renegotiate, but I don't expect it to go anywhere. I don't think either of these strikes are ending anytime soon. Selena Gomez isn't on the list. She wasn't here. Maybe she did support, but I didn't see her name. All right, moving on. Again, just showing you how little most of these actors actually make and how important residuals are. Apparently, Will Wheaton said that his parents stole nearly all of his salary from being on Star Trek, and that the residuals from that show were all he had, which is kind of sad and kind of messed up that his parents did that to him. But also, it shows you just how much like actors rely on residuals, which they're not really getting because everything's going to streaming. And apparently there's a bar called the Residuals Tavern in LA where everyone just posts their residuals check if it's less than $1, because apparently it's so common. And apparently it's rare for a residual check from streaming to be as much as $25. $25, guys. That's considered rare. Oh my god. That's it. $25. And there's the fact that there's this whole residuals tavern based on the idea that these actors essentially don't get paid is kind of crazy to me. It just shows you again why everyone's striking. I mean, $25. I guess I always knew that the actors that got paid like millions of dollars for these movies and shows, I knew that not everyone was that rich, but I didn't realize that everyone else basically was broke. Like, I didn't realize the disparity was that large. So these strikes are really showing that. Because holy crap, I had no idea. Prince says if the strike ended, some actors who weren't able to get paid won't get pay, so let the strike be longer. Honestly, I think they need to strike as long as they need to. I think it's that important. And we're finally getting to Rachel Zeigler. And I can't find the whole video of this. This is the only clip of this I've found on Twitter. I've looked. But apparently, you guys know Rachel Zeigler. She plays Snow White in Disney's upcoming live-action Snow White movie. I don't even think they're done filming that movie, but she's already on the picket line, and she's talking about how she doesn't think that. Well, let her speak for her. I won't speak for her. This is what she said. She's talking about Disney and Bob Iger right now.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online. If I'm going to stand...
So she sounds pretty upset, pretty angry. She said, if I'm going to stand there for 18 hours in a dress and an iconic Disney princess... As an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it's streamed online. And boy, did this cause some controversy online. Holy crap. This tweet has 23.2 million views. So yeah, this has gone viral. A lot of people are talking about it. Natanya Mullings thinks it's a bad take. And I did ask, and my member question of the day, I said, hello members. Rachel Zeigler was on the picket line today and publicly shamed Disney for not getting paid from Snow White being on Disney Plus. Do you think that she has the right to speak out against the company while she's still working on the film? And do you think she'll ever work with Disney again? And we had Natanya Mullings, who again is a member. Thank you so much, Natanya, for being a member and also always being in these chats. Thank you. She said that that basically she thinks that it comes off as entitled. Natanya thinks that this is a very bad take and that Rachel comes across as entitled. And your opinion doesn't come across as harsh. Don't worry. All opinions are welcomed here. So it is a lot what a lot of people are saying on Twitter too. There's one camp that thinks that she's being entitled by saying this, and there's another camp that's like she's entirely right. So there's like two sides on this. Oh, do we have another super chat? Oh, we do. Thank you so much from Soul Pop again. Excluding residuals, what's Netflix's creatives pay? I'm not even sure, but I'm sure it's a lot less than the executives because that's how things are. But thank you for the super chat. What do you guys think? I think I'm actually going to do a poll on this because it's very important. Do you guys think she's right or she's being entitled? I'm going to start a poll. All right. Is she right? Okay. I'm going to say entitled. She's right. Be honest. It's, completely anonymous. All right. Claire DeLu says, I mean, if she's talking about an hourly wage for streaming, then yeah, that's too much. Okay, so there's one person that thinks she's asking too much. Maiden says, every hour streamed is crazy, but I understand that first half. People are overreacting about this simply because she's a character playing a white character in woke Hollywood. Oh yeah, there's definitely layers to all of this outrage. You're definitely right. Joshua Munn says, it's funny how many people are just talking against Iger specifically. Like, I feel like this is the main reason these strikes will never end. Too much hate from both sides. Look at Ron Perlman. Yeah, I think that tensions are really high. I think that everyone, how they talk about these strikes, it's like so impassioned, so enraged. And then you have these studios that can't get their foot out of their mouth and just say like really stupid stuff. And it's only like fueling the hate between both sides. I've never seen it like this. It's very, very weird. And so far in the poll, we have a lot of votes here, 138 votes, so that's great. 55% of you says she's right. 45% of you think she's entitled. So that's almost a 50-50 split. I'm actually surprised by that. I'm going to end the poll. So it's 45 to 55, with most of you thinking that she's right. But it's still like almost 50-50. Now, here's what I think. I think that maybe she worded it wrong. I think what a lot of people are getting like hung up on is the part where she said the hourly thing. Like she wants to be paid hourly. I don't think she means like she literally wants an hourly salary. I think she means like if your movie is going to be placed on Disney Plus, she wants the residuals of how many people watch it on Disney Plus for however long the movie is on the streaming service. I think that's what she's saying. Now, here's the thing. Here's why I think she's so angry. I've heard a lot of rumors that Disney is considering putting the live-action Snow White movie on Disney Plus instead of sending it to theaters. So she might be upset because she's realizing that her pay is about to go down substantially because you're going to make a lot less money on streaming than you would if the movie had just gone to theaters. And if that's true, because again, it's only a rumor, I think that's why she's so upset. And she's like, well, if you're going to put my movie on streaming, I better get paid for it. That's where I think she's coming. What do you guys think? Oh, we have a super chat from Game Dreamer 58. Thank you so much for the super chat. I don't think it's entitlement. I don't think it's an entitlement issue as much as people just not liking her. Oh, that could be it. I think it's with someone else. Oh, I think if this was with someone else that people respected, what she stated wouldn't have been, that she wouldn't have gotten as much pushback. Yeah, that's very true. Maybe just people don't like Rachel Zeigler. To be honest, I don't have anything against her as a person. She seems perfectly nice. Again, but at the same time, I don't have like any strong positive feelings for her. I'm just like, she's just an actress like any other actress. She's okay, I guess. I don't know. But maybe she does have something about her that people just don't like. Maybe it's how she said it. I can kind of see that, because, like, just replaying it.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
She sounds very much like, I'm demanding this. Like, she kind of has a tone, where she's like, you guys better pay me now. And maybe that's it's the tone people are not liking. Plus, also, I don't know how smart this is, like, career-wise. Like, she's really risking a lot. Again, because of the strikes and everything had to shut down, I'm not even 100% sure they're, like, fully done filming that movie. So she's still very much a part of that movie that Disney hasn't even released yet. So she's kind of putting Disney, the studio she's currently working for, in a very awkward position. Oh, Alex says it's Black Widow all over again. It could be. It could be. Uh, she knows her movie's gonna flop, says Editing Geek. I don't know if she knows it's her movie's gonna flop. I think she knows her movie has a good chance of going on Disney Plus. I think that's what she's worried about. Purple Molly says people are reaching with this. It could be. It could be. Honestly, I think she has a right to want to get paid. I just think that how she said it could have been better. Will French says she has a lot of things that I don't agree with, and it is with a demand and entitled tone, not just the clip. Yeah, okay, maybe it's just her as a person. Maybe there's something about her that people just don't like. Again, I think a lot of it is the tone. Natma Relman says, Disney keeps hiring amateurs. They deserve these constant call-outs. I know, they are constantly getting called out. I feel like Disney, more than any other studio, this whole strike has been getting, like, called out the most. Like, people are just, like, they got Disney's name in their mouth, like, every second they can. Honestly, they kind of deserve it, though. Yeah, they are risking their careers, Data Bing. That's why I'm like, it's kind of shocking that she would be so, like, loud and boisterous about this. Because she's still currently working with Disney. She's still gonna have to promote that movie when it comes out. But she's, like, already at odds with them. Like, it's gonna be very awkward. Well, hi, CD Woods. Josh Loves Movies says she wants to make sure she gets paid what she deserves for her upcoming blockbusters. And that's very, very true. And I hope that she does. Again, I think what people are so upset about is, like, her tone. And I think it's also that she said hourly. I think people are thinking she literally wants to be paid, like, hourly. I don't think that's what she meant, though. Kat said somebody called Barbie. This is how they always talk about women. Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. But unfortunately, this is just how it is to be a woman. You have to watch your tone at all times. Disney does want to own everything, Christy. Unfortunately. But we have even more crazy, crazy strike news. Because Fran Drescher, the president of SAG, says that this strike could go on for 6 months. They're prepared for the strike to go on for 6 months, especially because of all the donations they've been getting from all those celebrities. She says they're in it to win it, and I thought we would just listen to her say it herself. She gives very impassioned speeches. She's very good at that.
Thank you, everybody. I'm so thrilled to see this level of enthusiasm and resolve and strength. And I promise you that we are not going to compromise. This is a seminal deal, and there is no turning back. At some point, you have to say, We've had enough. We're not going to get marginalized out of our livelihoods anymore. And you have to step up on the plate and do right by workers. And this is our moment. So thank you.
I mean, the fact that she's like, we're in it to win it, this could last 6 months. I mean, I predicted it. I hate to say I called it, but I called it. I called it. I said 2 weeks ago, I don't see this strike ending before the end of the year. And it looks like I was right. I think they'll have, like, actual real negotiations in maybe January of next year. But I'm still not even convinced then that they'll come to a deal. I think this strike could go on, like I said, for 6 to 8 months. That's what I called, and I think that's what's going to happen. Joshua Munn says that's why she became the nanny. She's been doing so well. I love listening to her doing all these little speeches. She gives very good impassioned speeches. Eat Movie says, why is Rachel's tone be brought into question and not Bob Iger's or RDJ? I don't know what you mean by RDJ, but I've talked about Bob Iger. Bob Iger's definitely getting a lot of pushback, so it's not like he's not getting backlash either. Data Bing says, no, don't tell them how long you plan to strike. Now they can prepare. That could be it. That's a good point. Are they playing their hand? Are they giving themselves away by openly admitting that they're prepared to go on for 6 months? That's a good point. Brianna Does Art says, once the streaming backlog dries up, then the studios will be willing to go back to the table. Maybe, but they have so much content on streaming, they could make that last for years. There's so much stuff like barely anyone has watched, they could try to make new again. I think the studios are prepared to make this last a long time too. I think both sides are, which is why I don't think this strike is going to end anytime soon. ACP, yes, I know RDJ means Robert Downey Jr. I just don't know what he has to do with the situation. Aubrey Small says studios can hold out longer than we expect. I agree, it will be a while. Yep, exactly. Both sides can hold out a long time. That's the point I'm making. Neither of them are coming to the table anytime soon. And because these strikes are going to last so long, again, Warner Brothers is still considering moving a lot of their movies. Apparently, they're not going to move Aquaman. Like, that's apparently done deal. That's releasing this Christmas. So if you're excited for Aquaman 2, good news for you. That movie isn't moving. But Dune 2 could still potentially move. So that's still in danger of moving to next year. Again, I'm really excited for Dune 2. I know for some reason a lot of you guys don't really like that movie. I love that movie. I thought it was incredible. I'm really looking forward to the sequel. But it's sounding more and more like that movie is definitely getting moved to next year. So I'm sorry. Look forward to that. Anyone upset about Dune moving or happy that Aquaman is staying? Eat Movie says, my point is, if RDJ or say Tom Cruise said the same thing as Rachel, they would be hailed as heroes. That's very true. I'm not saying, honestly, I agree with what Rachel was saying. What I'm talking about is why I think she got so much pushback, and it's because of her tone. And yes, I do think it's because she's a woman, and as a woman, you can't speak in a certain way without being, like, hateful or showy or whatever. But sadly, that's just the life that we live in. But you're not wrong, Eat Movies, but I'm also not wrong. Rachel says Aquaman needs to be written off at this point. I think they all need to be written off. I think they just need to make a hard reboot. Hard reboot. It's the only way forward with DC. Only way forward. Layleen Lost says, so hyped for Dune. Yeah, I know. I'm excited for Dune, but I think we're gonna have to wait a while. Wonka should stay in December, says Josh. I think Wonka should stay too. Honestly, I think most of these movies should just stay. I think there's a couple of movies coming out this year that are probably gonna flop no matter when they come out. One of those is Aquaman and the other is Wonka. Both of those should just stay. And the Marvels, to be honest. Moving on, though. Do you guys remember, what was it, like the other day or like 2 days ago when I said that the Arrow actor Stephen Amell said that he didn't support the different strikes that were going on, that he said that it's a reductive negotiating tactic, that he finds the strikes incredibly frustrating. Well, he got so much backlash from that. Oh my gosh, is he backpedaling now? He is backpedaling so hard. He must have gotten like calls from his agent, calls from his manager, because oh boy, he's being embarrassing, honestly. It's kind of funny. But he said that he wished his comments about the strike had stayed private. But the funny thing is, he said them during a public panel. He said them at a public event with cameras. This is him saying that he thinks the strikes are stupid, basically. And he's like, oh, I wish the comments had just stayed in private.
And I stand with them.
You're on a panel.
I do not support striking. I don't.
Look, why would you? He has a literal microphone. Literally, dude is literally speaking to a microphone in front of cameras, and he's like, those comments should have stayed private. I mean, the biggest backpedal. And then he's on the show, on this interview, and dude is literally like complaining about how he just wished people would not talk about it and how his words were misconstrued.
Guys, taking the time, I'm gonna take a little bit of a quiet.
He's like, oh, I need to take time for myself
a little bit, but I'll tell you what, I will do anything within my power, and if that's
this is like the exact opposite thing he was just saying. He's like, I'm gonna do everything in my power to support this.
Just want to cross the line a little bit, no pun intended.
Yeah, he crossed the line. I mean, I don't play the full video, but like, oh my god, the amount of backpedaling and groveling here. It's like, oh my god, not the whole like video. Natanya says, stand on your opinion. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Josh says, this is so entitled. Okay, so now Josh is calling him entitled. Interesting. Oh, Motion Going is saying karma. I know. I mean, he's the guy that played Arrow in a very popular Arrow show. So he's been in a very big hit show, and because it was on traditional television, he probably gets really good streaming checks. So he doesn't get why people are striking. I know. He did essentially cross the picket line. He could even be thrown out of SAG for that, which is probably why he's backpedaling so hard on this. He kind of did this himself. But I mean, he can have his opinion, but like, I think he misread the room on where people are at. I think people are feeling like they're fighting for their lives with these strikes. So he had to have seen this backlash coming. But anyway, that was actually the last news story of the day that I wanted to go over. This was a really fun stream. We had a lot of really fun things to talk about. We didn't always agree, but that's fine. I still love all of you. I thank you everyone for coming to these live streams. We have so much fun. Does anyone have any other questions, you guys? I'm going to open up this part of the video to any questions, so you can ask me about anything. You could tell me I'm wrong about the Rachel Zeigler thing. You could tell me all sorts of things, whatever. Just opening up to questions for a few minutes, and then that'll be the end of the stream. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, where I'll talk about, where I'll give you my non-spoiler review of the TMNT movie. And we'll also do some more updates if there are more updates on the strikes and everything. So thank you again. Oh, thank you, Claire DeLu. Oh, thank you, Jax. I'm glad you're enjoying the show. Oh, you're my favorite movie person. Oh, that's so nice. The Modern Designer says Disney are re-releasing classic movies in theaters during the strikes. I could see a lot of studios doing that. Maybe that could be a fun thing. I mean, they re-released Titanic a few months ago in theaters, and I actually saw it in theaters because it's my favorite movie, and it was a great experience. I actually had never seen that movie in theaters before because I was 1 year old when that movie came out. So it was really nice to be actually able to see that movie on like a big screen. So I would actually be for re-releasing a lot of those movies. Oh, thank you. You guys are so sweet. Namor7 says, would you pivot to reviewing older films or other genres during the strike? I've been thinking about that myself. Like, what am I going to do during the strike? If there's no more movies to review, like no new movies to review, maybe I'll talk about old ones, but I think I'm mainly just going to update you guys on what's happening with Hollywood until we can get new movies. I really like doing these shows. I just, right now, my focus is building up the show. Thank you. Fod Fareed says age reveal. I'll tell you this. Tom Holland and I share the exact same birthday. That's my age reveal. Cheetah Viper says, seeing your streams in the afternoon is so nice. Oh, it's 1 p.m. here, or almost 2. So, where are you guys, by the way? Tell me, guys, where you are. I never even asked that before, but I'm curious. I'm in New York. Where are you guys? Joel Pedro says, what was your favorite cartoon as a child? Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I also loved, what's it called? Fairly Odd Parents. I was drawing a blank on that, but I love Fairly Odd Parents, love SpongeBob. Those were my favorites. Oh, Texas. Okay. Wisconsin, Minnesota. Okay. So we're a bit all over. Cool. North Carolina. I'm from North Carolina. I was born and raised there. Florida, Canada. You're in the UK? Oh, Koharu, I didn't know you were British. Hello. Michael SD says Seattle. Okay. DMV? Wait, you're at the DMV right now? Oh, Prince, you're in India. And it's 11:30 p.m.? What? You watch these this late? Oh, Prince, you're so kind. I love you from India. I've never been. I've always wanted to go. I know, I was big into Nickelodeon as a kid and Disney Channel. Those were like my two channels I watched a lot as a kid. Virginia, Taiwan. Oh, we got someone from Taiwan here. Argentina, California, Missouri, Singapore, New England. Oh, you guys are all over. Oh, this is so fun. Oh, I'm glad I have a very international audience. This is cool. Oh, all right. Well, I'm going to end the stream here for today. Thank you everyone who came out and supported the stream. Again, I'm going to be here tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll have more entertainment news to go over, but I'll also have my review of the TMNT movie, so look forward to that. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and thank you everyone who came today. Thank you. All right, I'll see you then.